Welcome back. We are now entering day 3 of the government shutdown. The Senate will have another chance today to vote on both the clean continuing resolution and the Democrats' counter proposal to keep government funded through November. November 21st is the GOP deal. President Trump meeting with his Office of Budget Management Chief Russell Vought yesterday in Washington to discuss, quote, which Democrat agencies can be cut out of government, either temporarily or permanently. Joining me now is U.S. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-DeRemer. Secretary, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Maria. Good to be here.
So we were supposed to get the September jobs data out today. Obviously, we're not getting it with the government shutdown. Can you assess the jobs picture for us today?
Well, again, thank you, Maria, for having me. You know, one way to get that jobs report out is to open this government. And, you know, it's so disappointing that the president has been putting the American worker first for his entire administration to just see the Democrats play games and shut down this government. And you know how I know this, Maria? You know, I was a former member of Congress, as you know. I voted 5 times to keep the government open under a Democratic president. This is the exact same continuing resolution that they've been working on and that they have passed more than 13 times. So it's frustrating for me, not only as a taxpayer, but certainly in this administration and as a former member of Congress, for them to not see that they are hurting the American people. We've been on a momentum of job gains. We've been working so hard across the country to make sure that we are growing this economy and, you know, really having the workforce investments that we've been doing to only see it come to a screeching halt. While we're not going to get the jobs numbers report because they will not open this government, we want to keep the momentum going. I mean, that's been the goal as I've traversed this country. We're seeing consumer confidence up. We're seeing businesses want to reinvest in their workforce. And this is only, you know, a real screeching halt for the American people. And it's unfortunate that the Democrats don't see that they're fighting for the American people and they're going to pay.
Well, I mean, you know the data, though. You know where we are. I mean, we've had 3 months of slowing jobs. We know we don't have the numbers for September, but is there anything you could tell us about the jobs picture today?
Yeah, what we're seeing is the investments. I was just in Michigan at Ford, and I've been meeting. I met with Bill Ford. I met, you know, with other investors, CEOs who are putting the workforce together. You know, we have to upskill and reskill. We heard more than once that we're short of our welders, our construction workers. You know, it's important that we have those tradesmen and women building this country. That's what the president laid the groundwork with a lot of these trade deals. And to see the investments that these companies are making, trillions of dollars, now be stopped. That's the unfortunate part. But we've seen the confidence grow for the American economy. Look at GDP, 3.8%. So all of the indicators that you've seen from your economists on this show have shown that we're moving in the right direction. So while we've seen the numbers kind of hold steady, the goal is to not stop the momentum. And that's what we're hoping for the American people. This shutdown is only going to stop that even further. And so we need them to step up and vote for this CR. And I'm hoping that is what happens today. I know in the Senate, Leader Thune is working hard, but we're going to need some more of those Democrats to answer the call of the American people so that we can grow these numbers. We're talking about 300,000 to 500,000 electricians. We need to build these manufacturing centers. We need to make sure that we're answering the call of the American people. And that is not what's happening today. And that's unfortunate. And it's all on the shoulders of the Democrats. And, you know, Schumer knows that this is on him. And I hope that he answers that call because we're seeing more and more that the American people voted for this president for a reason, and that was to grow the economy and put the American worker first.
Absolutely. But now thousands of federal workers are set for layoffs as a result of this shutdown. How significant will those layoffs be? Can you assess that?
Well, we certainly know that we need the essential workers answering the call. For the Department of Labor, you know, we can't even continue registering our apprenticeship programs. We just released $86 million to 14 different states to really stand up those apprenticeship programs, and we have to stop that. But for our essential workers, when we're talking about wage and hour, people who need to apply for unemployment, all of the services that the federal government offers now comes to a screeching halt. And I can tell you this, for the federal workers that we need to answer the call for the American people, they are at a standstill. And that's the unfortunate part. Why do we not want to put these people to work? People have to pay their mortgages. They have to make their car payments. There's a real fear that these jobs will be held up, and so I hope they answer this call. We're going to have to make some tough decisions as we move through this process. And the longer this government stays shut down, those harder those decisions will happen.
Yeah. So the jobs number is not out today for September, but will you release the September jobs number after the government reopens?
Well, certainly what we want to see at BLS is to have those numbers out. Why? The markets depend on it. Businesses depend on it. You know that, Maria. Every decision is made on a lot of these accurate numbers. The president has been clear over the last few months that the commissioner under the Biden administration was, out of that job, and we're hoping that new nominee comes in as soon as the White House determines who that is, so we can get those accurate numbers out to the American people. Everything that we do under the Department of Labor, as well as the economy, counts on accurate data points and modernization of those numbers. So we're going to be working hard, looking forward for that, to release those numbers. Listen, we saw the ADP numbers come out. They weren't the best. But we see the momentum because all indicators of this economy is that it is going to keep growing. And under this president and this leadership and under the Department of Labor, we're going to continue to move full force ahead so we can grow this economy. It is all about upskilling and reskilling and making sure that we have the people. And you heard Stephen Moore say, it isn't that there aren't jobs out there. We know that there's 6 to 7 million jobs that need to be filled. The American workforce is begging for it, and I need to do my job and make sure that we skill this workforce and get them on the ground and get them into these jobs that they're asking for.
Well, you're right. There's a lot of uncertainty, particularly with AI. But, Secretary, just to be clear, when would you expect to release the September jobs numbers once government reopens?
As soon as this government opens. I hope that the Democrats understand. As soon as they open this government, we want to get these numbers out so that we can determine what this market looks like, and we can work hard again to fulfill the needs of the American people. We need that data. We need the accurate data points. It's a 30-day snapshot, certainly, but we can see over the last 6 months that the economy is growing, the investments are there. The president has done his job with the trade deals with these countries to reinvest right here in the United States of America, and people are clamoring to invest in their workforce. That's the exciting part that I've seen on the ground. And I believe that we'll continue to see that. So we want to make sure this government gets open, we release these numbers, and then we make the changes that are necessary to get the economy growing and work with our small businesses across the country. I've been working with Secretary McMahon, Administrator Loeffler, to get these dollars out so we can have this economy skilled and ready to go when the time is right. And that is now. And we need this government open, Maria.
Well, Kelly Loeffler joined me yesterday, and she mentioned you, and she mentioned the work that you both are doing together. So thank you for that. But let me get your take on AI, because no doubt, everyone's talking about artificial intelligence changing their lives, changing their work. And I know that we are going to see AI drive productivity across the economy. Experts say nearly every job is going to change. So I want to get your take on what the plan is. What is the plan from the Labor Department stance in terms of offsetting those jobs that will no doubt go away because of AI efficiency?
Yeah, well, certainly what we aim to do is never displace the American worker. That is the goal. We want to assist the American worker. And our businesses are asking, how do we train our workforce in AI? One of the executive orders by this president is to make sure that the workforce is proficient and literate in AI. And that's why we're getting those dollars out on the ground to our respective states to have these dedicated programs for that workforce. I mean, we're starting to talk to, not only our junior hires, our high schoolers, anybody who wants to get back into the workforce, that they have the skills that they need in AI. We are going to be an adaptable society. We have to make sure that we have the tools to assist our businesses and our workforce so they are trained in AI. And the aim is to not displace the American worker, but to assist them with these tools. AI is here to stay. This administration and this president wants to win the AI race, and all of our secretaries are leaning in to make sure that we have those skills gaps filled in. And that's the ask, that's the call, and that's what we're going to do. Get those dollars on the ground and make sure everybody's proficient and literate in AI.
All right, we will be watching that. Secretary, it's great to catch up. Thanks so much for being here.